I'm back today with another episode of Off the Shelf. We're taking a look at a Pacesetter adventure module called Fog of War. Please stick around. I'm AZ Mountaineer. This is our channel, Old School Rules, a place for everyone who loves classic RPGs and anyone who'd like to learn more about them. On the Off the Shelf series, I take an item from my collection off the shelf to share with the community, whether this is something you're just interested in learning more about or something you'd never even heard of before today. I hope you'll enjoy today's video. In the last couple of years, I've come to know a company called Pacesetter Games, and its owner, Bill Barsh. Bill's a big supporter of the PAGE convention. That's the Philadelphia Area Gaming Expo that's in January of each year that I've been attending. And today we're going to take a look at one of the really early, I think one of his really earliest adventures. This is really just paper, not even heavy stock cover. It says it's connected with Center Stage Miniatures, and I think there was a connection they were doing with those in connection also with maybe one of the conventions. I don't know if it was North Texas or not, but this is a just paper, regular size paper folded in half, stapled on the sides. And it's fairly short. Let's take a look at the cover here. I think interesting art. This guy in the front, based on the adventure, I'm going to say is a giant coming out of the forest. And then we've got a couple of fighter types here in the front who are making tracks to get away from him. This came out in 2012. Again, Pacesetter Games and Simulations is the name of the company. Bill Barsh is the author. There wasn't a price on it, so I don't really know what it was. These were also numbered. Mine is number 26 out of 100. It's a 24-page booklet, and they give credit to art here to Marcello Genovese. Here is the title page. Again, this is first edition AD&D, or the OSRIC clone, if you want to call it that was made for first edition Advanced Dungeons & Dragons. It's pretty straightforward. We've got an introduction for the DM, an introduction for the players. Get the map of, there's some islands, so you get a wilderness setting, and then you go into this temple. There's a new monster and a new magic item. Here's the background. The gist of it is kind of, I think it's pretty interesting. This is sort of the return of the giants. And it sort of starts off with the once upon a time, the giants sort of ruled this world. It's set in his dark land setting Bill uses, but he says you don't really need that. You can drop this in. But the background, the giants used to sort of rule the world, their dominant race. There came a time when they began to fracture apart, and this king figured out a way to sort of bind all the various tribes that were breaking apart together. His name was Naraminar. And it turns out, you don't tell anybody this, that what he had done is found and made a pact with this archmage who somehow used magic to tie everybody together. Then what happens is that when that mage dies, his magic is gone, and it's sort of like there's this big explosion. They describe later that the rumor or the story is that there was this giant thunderstorm all over the place. But essentially that magical energy was released somehow, and that is how the different giants got their unique abilities. So you end up with frost giants and fire giants. Sort of like that magic fractured and went to wherever the giants were, I guess. But anyway, now they're back, in their separate clans. This starts with a movement among a group of giants. Maybe it's like a secret society, one from each of the different tribes or whatever, and they're trying to reunite the giants again so they can take control of the campaign world. This king and his family, whatever it is that's going to let them do that, is at his sort of keep, which is now still there but sort of hidden away. And you're able to find your way back to that by going to these different temples, one sort of for each tribe. And within those temples is a map that shows you all the other temples. And when you go there, you can piece together something that's going to show you the way to find the ancient keep of Naraminar. Okay, so that's the background. And then the players, they get this story from this king. He gives them a scroll that he's gotten from a storm giant. Each giant clan had one of these scrolls that would take them to one temple, and from there, in theory, they could get connected to the other temples. And so you've got that map. It shows you where on the campaign world to go to get there. Here is the map of your wilderness setting. Basically, there's a huge lake within which are these series of islands. And the rumor is that there's a temple to the fog giants, or for the fog giants, one of these islands. It turns out, unfortunately, that a fog giant has gotten to these islands before you, right? And so when you start the adventure, some of the islands have some group of the fog giant clan, if you will, that are there searching out that particular island. They're divided up. And so your characters obviously will go start whichever random one they want to go to first. When they get to the island that has the temple on it, it will turn out that the leader of the fog giants has gotten there as well. Depending on what the characters do, you may or may not get there right as he's about to sort of rip the giant stone off to reveal the entrance. You may be able to prevent that. You may get there right as it's happening, but maybe can prevent him from going inside. Or you may end up with letting the fog giant and all of his forces that were with him get inside the temple before you. That's going to be a strategy based on character decisions. We've got several pages here that basically just explain what you're going to find on each of the islands and also inside of the temple when you go in there. It's a pretty concise adventure. I think it would be not even a full session if you play 3 or 4 hours. I mean, maybe it would fill up your 3 or 4 hour session, but not much more than that. And again, this is designed as the starting point. When you get here, let's go to this map. This is the temple. Again, you can see pretty short. You can get the first piece. So you can see the map, and you can see where the other temples are going to be, and you can get the first piece. It's basically like a metal square that eventually, it says in here, will fit together with other metal squares to form basically a cube, except for they'll only get 5 sides. The 5th side will be open. And from that will shoot from that will shoot a beam that will point the way unerringly towards the keep, where the ultimate magic is. It will help pull the giant groups back together again. Again, very cool, very straightforward. I really like this early Pacesetter stuff. It's got a good feel to it. And again, this one's going to be straightforward. The cool thing about this is there's a magic item in here that's basically releasing fog like a super-powered fog machine. And so when you go in, there'll be wisps of fog right when you first go in the entrance, and once you get in there further, there'll be deep fog, and it basically is going to keep you from being able to see, much more further away than your hand, with obvious effects on combat, spell casting, missile weapons, and so forth. A couple new things. We've got a new monster called the Blackroot Treant, and it is an evil treant, which I thought was kind of an interesting concept. And then we've got the Potion of Fog, which the leader of the Fog Giants carries with him, which creates basically a fog area of effect. And we've got this magic urn, which is the fog machine that's filling up the cavern with fog. Both of which kind of cool items, not overpowered by any stretch of the imagination, but I like magic items that open up for creative use. There's one piece of art on the inside, which is I'm not even sure what these guys are. I don't think you actually encounter these hawk masked humanoids in here. It's just some cool art. Here's the rear cover, and it just tells you about some of the other Pacesetter adventures that are out there. Thing in the Valley, Screaming Temple, Eruptor's Vengeance, Death on Signal Island, Vampire Curse, Circle of Fire, Grave of the Green Flame, and Dark Eye of the Hurricane. Now, Bill says in here on the first page, this is called CSM1. He sort of uses a convention like TSR used to do. And he says there will be, I think it's either through 5 or 6 of these total adventures that will take you from temple to temple and then ultimately to the keep of the prior king, right? Pretty cool stuff. Again, I like it. It's simple, it's straightforward, and it's got a great old school feel to it. That's our look at Fog of War CSM1 adventure module put out by Bill Barsh of Pacesetter Games and Simulations. If you don't know about Pacesetter Games and Simulations, I encourage you to go Google them. It's an active company. You can find them online. They're putting out great products all the time. And Bill's just a great supporter of the the old school community. Hope you guys have enjoyed today's video. I hope you're enjoying other videos on our channel, and I hope you're subscribed. If you've got friends who would enjoy this kind of content, please send them our way, and hopefully they'll take a look and become subscribers as well. Have a great rest of your day. Until next time, my friends, keep rolling 20s.